Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your show, Good Morning Kuwait. This is your host, Abdulaziz Darwish. We are coming to you live this morning from the Ministry of Information studios here in downtown Kuwait. As usual, we have a variety of segments with several reports. I hope and you enjoying and watching us through the KTV2 from now until 10 a.m. And before we start, everyone, I would like to greet our working crew. And Sarah, good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Aziz, and good morning to you, dear viewers. Welcome to a new episode of your morning program, Good Morning Kuwait. And today, as always, we have various segments and special guests that we are so happy and pleased to have them with us this morning. So please keep watching us till the end of the program and never go away. So, Aziz, happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan, and on behalf of our show, Good Morning Kuwait, we'd like to congratulate everyone who's watching us through the KTV2 for the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. May Allah give you all with it prosperity and respect. Ramadan Mubarak. You know what's the good thing about the holy month of Ramadan, my co-host?
Yes.
Is the abundance of good deeds and blessings.
Yes.
So what about the preparation?
First of all, we have to greet all our families, our friends, our parents for sure, and also our dear viewers. So, as Aziz greet you actually about holy month of Ramadan. I hope dear viewers will return it back to us Ramadan year by year with our beloved ones, with our family, with our friends, with being healthy and wealthy, with a spiritual point of view, Aziz. And as you asked me about the preparation, we have actually to prepare that from today. We have to actually cut off all the caffeine from now. But you, Aziz, you drank your
Today my
coffee.
last coffee in the morning time.
Yes, this is your last coffee, but it's going to be really interesting, dear viewers. The fasting is not that much really hard this year because the weather is really lovely, and actually we have that really cold weather at the morning and even at night. So it's going to be, inshallah, easy Ramadan, easy fasting for you. And we have to make some gatherings. As usual, we have too many gatherings in the holy month of Ramadan. Can you mention one of them?
We have like certain occasions, the holy month of Ramadan. The reviewers watching us through the KTV2, we have Ghabgaz, we have also Girgian occasion.
Yes.
These two occasions usually people celebrate after the iftar, we can say, after the breakfast.
Yes, it's like about the actually gathering with our family with some like a huge feast, a huge meal. They eat a little bit in futur, not too much feed like salad or soup, and then we're gonna have the huge feast and huge meals and too many dishes. In Al Ghabga is gonna be one of the occasions we do it. Actually, usually in Ramadan, it's gonna be inshallah one of the most beautiful this year. So happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan to everyone who's watching us through the KTV2. Now, dear viewers, we'll have a daily segment. So let's check it together. We'll be right back.
And now, dear viewers, with Kuna News, and the first headline. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah sent a congratulatory cable to the Nepalese President Chandra Paudel and Vice President Ram Shaiha Yadav on the occasion of winning the presidential elections. His Highness the Emir wished them everlasting health and wellness and further progress and prosperity for the country and for the people.
Kuwaiti's Moon Sighting Committee has announced that Thursday after tomorrow will be the start of the holy fasting month of Ramadan of Al-Hijri or Islamic calendar of 1544 will commence on Thursday, March 23, he pointed out.
Kuwait Christian Society KRCS head Dr. Hilal Sayer inaugurated a newly established orphanage support unit in Jordan.
Kuwait Ports Authority inaugurated the first phase of the project to redevelop and rehabilitate the docks of Shueikh Port, which with a length of 1,330 meters that cost about 48.75 million. This is our news for today. Let's go to this break. They will continue. We are back to our show again, Good Morning Kuwait. Usually me and my co-host Sarah, we have a chit-chat in the off-air. We'll talk about what's happening during and all around the world and even in the state of Kuwait. And now you notice, my co-host Sarah, that the demand of the car industry, the car races are huge in the world.
Yes, and there are too many competition about actually car racing. And I don't like so much car racing, but seems interesting. I know too many people actually fan of watching and actually joining and watching in live racing and the car racing. What about you?
Yeah, actually here in the state of Kuwait, we are very proud. We have like a very big field KMT, Kuwait Motor Town.
Yes.
It is one of the fields like all the GCC countries and even the world, they are participating here for the car competition. But we have another competition. We'll talk about another continent.
Yes, exactly. Miswah Niwa Gina is a part of the club that encourages youth to build their own bikes and their tricks.
Now he performed for a crowd amid to the squeal of the car tires at an arena of the outskirts of South Africa's Johannesburg. Let's watch it together. We'll be right back.
This is the Wheels and Smoke Arena on the outskirts of Johannesburg. No prizes for guessing why it's called that. Engines roar and tyres squeal as South African drivers drift or spin round corners, to the delight of the crowd. On the sidelines waits 15-year-old Mzwake Gwenya. He's here to show that you don't need 4 wheels to pull off some tricks.
I'm happy that we are now spinning in front of a crowd. We don't only spin in our township anymore, but we can now be seen by other people.
The monthly Revved Up Sunday event is usually reserved for cars, but it's just added a stunt bike exhibition for younger participants to show off their skills. Spare Delovu is one of the more seasoned drivers.
I'm really impressed by what I see. This is where I also started because I had a love for BMW cars as a kid. At that age, I didn't have access to a car, but if they have passion, they will also make it one day.
Drifting or spinning is a technique where the back tyres lose traction as momentum propels a vehicle around a corner. Gwenya practices with his friends in a township in Johannesburg's east. He's part of a club that encourages boys to fix up old bikes and learn tricks. The aim is to keep them away from crime and gangs.
What I love about spinning bikes is that when we are bored and not doing anything, we don't get into trouble. But we spin, and I love that it makes me happy.
Gwenya's club, the 7K Stunt Bicycle Foundation, started during the global health crisis. At the time, exercise was one of the only reasons people were allowed to leave their homes. For Gwenya, it's become a passion. The teenager saved up 3 months of school spending money, a little over $140, to build his bike from spare parts. Now he dreams of heading for a bigger stage. One day he says he wants to race in the Tour de France.
And now, dear viewers, with first interview segment for today, we're gonna have Faiza Khan. She's an education expert. Mrs. Faiza is a creative who works in the educational publishing field. As student of life, she is passionate about defying the odds and chasing down opportunities where they may arise. She always helps providing teachers and education society in Kuwait with the proper tools to help raise children that are going to one day change the world for the better. So, hello and good morning, Faiza.
Hello, how are you? Ramadan Kareem to everyone.
Ramadan Kareem for you, dear Faiza.
Thank
So,
you.
first of all, we're going to talk about Twinkle.
Yes.
We're going to know more about it, dear.
Yes, of course. So obviously it's great being back here. It's great that we're back in a new school year. We've all gone back to our normal routines now.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be the first Ramadan where everything is back to normal, which is going to be amazing for children, for teachers, and for parents. So as you mentioned, Twinkle is a global education publishing website. So what we do is we connect teachers and parents and educators in Kuwait with high quality learning materials in line with the Kuwait curriculum.
That's amazing. And as you mentioned, tomorrow, inshallah, is Ramadan. And Ramadan is going to be amazing after Corona, after the lockdown, 2 years. And we know we face too many struggle and conflicts with the student. So how can Twinkle actually support parents and teachers in this Ramadan?
Yes. So this Ramadan, we've actually done things a little bit differently.
Yes.
So we've worked with the entire Gulf region. So we've worked with our different operations based out of Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and we've kind of come together to create this exciting Ramadan experience in the classroom.
It's not only here in Kuwait.
No, it's not. So we've come together to create these new learning materials that are all, aimed to help children really embrace what Ramadan is. And there's different materials, decorations, worksheets, activities, And it's just going to be really exciting because for the first time, we've given parents 30 days of educational resources.
That's amazing.
So on our website, we have a calendar. And you know, parents get really tired during Ramadan. The routine becomes very different. The workday becomes shorter. So with this calendar, instead of planning different activities for your child and worrying and stressing with the cooking and cleaning, you can just go online, click on day 1 of Ramadan, and you'll have an activity ready for you. And then you can go to day 2, you'll have an activity ready for you. So it's basically an interactive calendar that we've created, which is, I don't think we've done it before. I don't think we've seen it in the educational sector. So it's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm really excited for, you know, the Kuwaiti parents and teachers to access this.
That's amazing. You are something proud of, and we are proud of such a creative idea, especially for the holy month of Ramadan. So it's a whole calendar, 30 days of planning. That will actually makes the parents easier to teach their children for the holy month.
Exactly.
So what is the difference between like teaching their children in the holy month of Ramadan and like differ from the regular days?
Right. So I think it's the same comparison that you can make between, you know, how we behave during Ramadan and also outside of Ramadan. Ramadan is such a special time for people in the world. We really try to become our best versions in the Ramadan. We try to become better people. And I think it's a beautiful time for all of us because obviously it's more peaceful. We, you know, dedicate so much more time to our prayer and our religion, which is beautiful. And I think we can apply the same approach to younger children. So we can use this time to teach them these really good manners. We can encourage children to do good deeds. One resource that we have on our website is called the Ramadan Good Deeds Calendar. So it's really special because for every single day of Ramadan for the 30 days, there's one good task that a child has to do. So for one, it could be helping your mother clean up the kitchen. Or for the second one, it could be, you know, helping put the dishes away, or tell someone something nice, write a letter to your aunt or uncle. Like, it's all of these good deeds. So I think the difference is in Ramadan, we really try to help encourage children to be better people and to show them the beauty of, you know, our religion and the beauty of being a kind person.
Yes, that's amazing. That's really like teach them, encourage them to do to be in a good manners. Actually, it's an opportunity to raise the manners. And during the holy month of Ramadan, and the directors say there's like a video it's gonna be shown now, and I want you to explain that to us. But I think before that, let's talk about how parents can really take. Okay, now it's on. Can you? So what is all about this?
So basically our team works globally, and what we did this year, because we have so many team members all over the world, we're operating in more than 200 countries, which is amazing. So our team came together to film a really quick Ramadan greeting video for all of the users who and all of our viewers who celebrate Ramadan.
So let's see it actually, dear viewers. Wow, that's amazing, a lovely video. So how many countries you said?
We're operating out of 200 countries and regions. So that's just some of our team members, but we have many, many more.
We have to greet them as well as they greet us, actually. So it's amazing. So it's really about like spiritual, how to make, like as I mentioned, how to like increase, encourage the children, how to be in a good manners, how they help their parents. Not only parents help their children and their students. So what about Ramadan? How can really take Ramadan as an opportunity to bond with their like let's say with their kids, the parents bond with their kids?
That's a great question, and I think a lot of the viewers at home are probably wondering the same thing. So the first thing is, obviously you have to make sure you take any opportunity to bond with your child. It can be very difficult, especially for the parents who are balancing a full-time job as well as household duties and, you know, parental responsibilities. So one simple way that parents can bond with their children in Ramadan is simply by inviting them to help them do things. So the beautiful thing about, you know, the website Twinkle is that we have all of these different activities that parents and children can do together. So some of the decorations we have, like the child can color them and the parent can color some with them. They can do that together.
Yes.
Once they're done with that, they can hang up the decorations. Another thing we have that we've put up this year is recipes.
Yes.
So we have some recipes that are very simple to make, like pizza toast, you know.
Wow.
So the child can come into the kitchen, the child can help you prepare futur, and it's just like a family time, you know.
Yes, yes.
So any opportunity you have, spend it with your child. Read them the stories we have online about Ramadan. We also have Gurgian resources. So before Gurgian, they can start discussing that topic at home. It's just about really bringing the family together during this special time.
That's amazing. That
Yeah.
increase, as you mentioned, the bond between
Exactly.
parents and their kids, instead of actually doing some playing the technology,
Yeah.
PlayStation, and playing outside the house. It's better to have that bond, and even it's better for their
Yeah.
studies, isn't it? Like
Exactly.
really, they will trust their parents.
Yes, and
their
I will
studies.
actually say there's a lot of different skills that go into childhood development. So
Yes.
something as simple as coloring or doing a cutting activity, to you and me, because we're fully grown adults, for us,
Yes.
we don't think it's something big. But for a child, when they're coloring, they're developing their hand muscles. And it's really important because these hand muscles are the tools that help them write as they become
Exactly.
older. So do not overthink and do not overlook the small things. Sometimes the small things are the most important part of a child's development.
Exactly, that's really great point, dear
Yeah.
Faiza. So let's talk about the holy month in Ramadan in Kuwait. How actually is different from any other country's resources?
So basically, are we talking about the resources or just the cultural
Let's say the
standpoint?
culture and then the resources.
Yes, okay. So from the cultural perspective, I think Kuwait is such a lovely place to be during Ramadan. Like, it's just so wonderful even to hear the prayer call, you know, in the morning 5 times a day. It's such a beautiful reminder of, you know, where we are in the world, and it brings us close to our faith, and I think that's really important to us. And then also another beautiful thing to see is like all of the different co-ops, they decorate for Ramadan, the nice streets and the, you know, the street lights, they're all different during Ramadan. It's wonderful. And I
Yes.
think this year we were so lucky because we had National Day in February, and then in March we have Ramadan.
Yes.
So we're very, very lucky. And I've seen just the community come together, you know, neighbors, they deliver food to each other, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. And then coming back to your other question about the resources, it's different because, you know, during this time of the year, we really focus on Ramadan imagery. So we'll use like stars, moons in our resources. They'll be completely relevant to the society that we're, you know, catering to, and they're relevant to Kuwait. All of our resources have children that, you know, are wearing the traditional dress, and their names are the local names and stuff. So it's just about making children relate to what they're interacting with.
That's amazing, Faiza. So there is a question that popped up in my
Yeah.
mind. So I know that, as you mentioned, that Twinkle, that the concept of that helping kids with their parents, like
Yeah.
the parents teach actually their kids, isn't
Yeah.
it? So what about the parents that would have actually difficulty in learning? Or they can't really teach
Yeah.
their children. They don't have that ability to
Right.
be like as you mentioned, like have some fun time with them.
Exactly.
So do you have
exactly.
any advice for their
For
the
sure, I do.
parents?
So our main idea at Twinkle is to inspire great teaching and learning, and also to help those who teach. So
Yes.
I think some of the ways that we can really support those parents who have, maybe they don't have enough time, or maybe they're just not as comfortable or confident teaching their child, we have a lot of different tools online to help them. So alongside well-being support, so like mental health support for parents and children, we also have this one segment of our website
Yes.
where we actually have a teacher who is teaching children how to do different things. So
That's amazing.
phonics, for example, is learning sounds. So it's the initial sounds that a child would learn in order to form words. And we have, you know, a teacher, it's a video, and the teacher is kind of conducting the lesson, you can almost say.
Yes.
On top of that, we also have PowerPoints. In Kuwait, we actually recently launched audio-visual resources. And I think this is really going to be something all of the teachers in Kuwait will really appreciate, because it's for helping teachers teach English language.
That's
So what it is it's a PowerPoint with a character, her name's Fatima, and she goes to school and she introduces us to her brother. But when you click on the PowerPoint, she talks. So she will talk to the user.
And that makes like a teaching easier for the parents and for the teachers as well.
Because then the parent won't make a mistake in the pronunciation or anything.
Yes. So do you have any last educational advice, dear Faiza?
Well, I think the last thing is just make sure you guys drink enough water in between your fasting time. Try to optimize your sleep and just have a wonderful Ramadan.
That's amazing, Faiza. Thank you for your generous information and wish you all the best of luck and your Twinkle members as well.
Thank you so much.
So big thanks and appreciation to our dear guest, Mrs. Faiza Khan. So dear viewers, don't go away, dear viewers. Let's have this tiny little break and then we'll move on.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. A special thanks to my co-host Sarah, البكر, with her distinguished guest Faiza Khan. I heard already, and all the viewers watching us through the KTV2, it was like for educational expert. We'll talk about education. It was a lovely topic.
It was a lovely topic, how we encourage the kids and how we make a bond, a huge tight bond with family with their kids, especially during the holy month of Ramadan. But now let's talk about something else, Aziz. I know last month, February, we had the celebrations. And you, Aziz, you went to too many lovely places, traditional places, and one of them was Yom al-Bahar, one of the most beautiful heritage places here in Kuwait. So can you please share with us your experience about that?
It was a very lovely experience. You know, Yom al-Bahar, one of the touristic places, destination. I recommend everyone who watching us through the KTV2 to visit this, like we call it, one of the place which already reflect about, we call it the sea heritage and even also the desert heritage, who reflect art, culture and tradition of state of Kuwait. So now let's talk about the place. It's worth mentioning that this special place, the village of Yom al-Bahar, is the favorite place to be visited by all the elderly in Kuwait city, as it reminds them of the history of their misery and also the fatigue during the historical period of the country, because you know, always like we have to appreciate our past also, Sarah.
That's amazing. So let's actually watch your report, dear viewers. Let's watch Aziz reporting in Yom al-Bahar and they'll be right back to you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your show, Good Morning Kuwait. This is your host, Abdulaziz Darwish. Today in this report, we're going to share with you about a new series. As you can see already behind me, Yom al-Bahar. Yom al-Bahar village, one of the historical locations in the state of Kuwait. We're going to share with you and showcasing with you about what's included inside, about the places, the location, the museum, and even more. To know more, please join us. As you already can see behind me, we call it the welcoming board inside Yom al-Bahar village. Once you are entering inside, you will see this amazing board, the big one. This one already showing to you about the locations and what about the map of Yom al-Bahar village. You see already the pins, you see Al-Boom, the Kakin, Souk, Kids Zone, the sales, seating, and even the TV locations inside. We're not forgetting also the security. And in the bottom, in the red corner, the downstairs in the bottom, it's the QR code. I already talked the code to know more about in details about the welcoming board. And even there is a website if you want to visit to know more about the Yom al-Bahar village. It's arbahar.media.gov.kw. And it's worth mentioning at this place is already following the Ministry of Information. So this is what we call it the welcoming board inside Yom al-Bahar village. This one of the boards inside Yom al-Bahar village, it's already distributed all around the village. The importance and also the purpose of this board is to share with you about some of the brief description, some about our history, about our legacy, in desert side and even the seaside. This is one of the boards. So this one of the importance. So now, once you enter inside the board, you will see all of this board. Don't forget to scan the QR code to know more about details about our history. Now, dear viewers, we reached the end of our report for today. Hope you enjoyed our covering inside Yom al-Bahar village about the board and the welcoming board. See you next time with more amazing report in our lovely country, state of Kuwait, and GMK, Good Morning Kuwait. See you next time. We are back to our show again, Good Morning Kuwait. Now we're moving for our second interview segment. We're going to introduce to you Khulud Al-Wahsh, the Director of Nursing and Quality Assurance. We will going to share with us about her experience in her elderly care and aged care, which already serve the needs of the requirement of senior people. And the interview is part of our focusing on the people who are a mission and achievement. So hello and good morning.
Good morning, and always happy to be part from this amazing program. Good
You're-
morning, Kuwait.
You're most welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today in our show, Good Morning Kuwait. We have a chit chat with you. I had a chit chat with you. We'll talk more about the home healthcare service.
Exactly.
It's simple word, but very huge topics.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate to us about the importance of home care service?
Okay. Actually, in Kuwait, the home care programs, they are starting like too early, okay? And it started from nursing services.
From nursing to be?
Yes, the nurses are going to the home and serving the patients who the family, they think that they need the nurses.
Yes.
But the way that they are doing their job, it's a little bit like not up to the standards that we are expected. So actually I was requested from one from the companies, pioneer company in Kuwait, to do the assessment and to improve the services. When I went there and I saw many patients at home, I felt that yes, there is a huge category of patients which need these home care services, and actually it's not luxury, it's important, but the only one who can feel what I'm talking about is the one who, God forbid, that he's got someone in the house, and it's very difficult for him to get him at hospital.
Especially when you mention about the patients, some of them are elderly, some of them have many, like maybe they are at risk, you know. You don't know what happened during the homes because maybe there's no services, lack of staff, lack of, like we call it, tools. So do you think, like in your point of view, because this is your experience, like people when they are attending homes, they say like maybe they will be at risk sometimes?
Okay, let's say most of the times.
Most of the times?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll just give you one example. Okay, for example, someone who is got a surgery and after, or stroke, let's say, stroke. After that, the family members, they decide that this father or mother, they need bed, and the Ministry of Health, they are providing this kind of bed. So they will go and take the bed, then someone will advise them for mattress, which is like water mattress. So they will go and buy the best mattress, or maybe the most expensive mattress, but it's not the mattress which choose his case. Then they will buy the salesman in that shop. He will advise for many equipment, and this equipment actually it's not needed at the end of the day.
It's not the required equipment for the patient.
Exactly. So apart from the services that we provide on that program is to do assessment for the case even inside the hospital. And now we either can visit the patients or just talk to the family or by video call or do this assessment. Based on the assessment, we can provide the advice for the family, what exactly they need.
You know what's the thing? Sorry for this interrupting. I noticed because this is your passion, you love your job.
Yeah.
See, the level you already been in the job when you said like even simple task like a video call, we can help you. Even you do like we call it virtual platform services, you do also for them.
That will be, we are coming later when we are talking about the Al-Murshid application, but I'm telling you that the technology elaborating a lot with our services, and it helps all of us.
Before we go to another topic about the Murshid application and the others, let's talk about the latest services we do for home service. I know during these days, even I see in the neighborhood, in the houses, in the cities, you will see like the service are different. People come in certain times, they leave in certain times, they bring some of the tools, especially about the case of the patient, right?
You're right.
And the new, too many services I saw in the new upcoming years also.
Exactly. Most of the time, I'll tell you like one example. If you have a physiotherapy who is serving a geriatric patient for 5 years, what he is doing for 5 years? If you say this, it will be like a joke for anyone who is professional hearing this. Physiotherapist, he is providing certain service with a target and goal. Okay,
yes, right.
So you need to do assessment and you need to discuss the plan for the family and for the patients. You don't need to ignore the patient because he is the center of the care, and you need to tell him what we are going through and where we are going to reach. It shouldn't be like false expectation, or we are going to tell him that you are going to walk, or we will just.
They just want to change the movement because the physiotherapists are responsible for to make it like normal moves again, like as usual as to be before also.
Exactly. This is for stroke. Most of the patients, I saw them, they are like young. For me, 40 years old, they are young.
No, you're still a flower.
Thank you so much. So these people, when they have fracture, for example, he fall down. Just now, when I'm passing, he was like warning me, be careful, there is wires. See, if I might fall down, maybe if I got fracture, if I'll be in the hospital and then I do surgery, when I'm going outside, most of the patients are, especially when they are men or even women, they have they'll be scared to move alone, but they will not tell you, I'm scared. So no, I don't want to go. I don't want to do.
Yeah, I noticed this kind of word.
Exactly.
They are scared.
They are scared, but they will not say it in
they are not honest. Yeah.
Exactly. They are honest, but they see their what do you call it? Their situation in the family. They are the head of the family. Especially, you know, the culture of Kuwait. Like, she is the mother.
The culture of the Arabs, like. Okay.
So you cannot say that I cannot. I'm scared. So they will just stuck. Then they will develop many things. Maybe bit sources. No one will discover. Maybe. So when you will bring the physiotherapy at home, he will practice with them how to go back to normal and how just to get rid from the bed as early as possible.
But as soon as possible.
Exactly.
And this one leads me to another question. Like when we talk more about the physiotherapists, most of them, they are practice with the patients with their own hands. What about the latest medical devices? Like instead of physiotherapy, what about the other things like the in general? What is about the medical devices you recommend in any house, if any patient they are there, for any cases?
Actually, the approach of our unique, I told you that there is many companies which is providing the home care, and we are not saying that they are good or bad. We are saying that we improve a company which is a mobile unit, contain everything, and actually this is something like the patients will not miss anything. Most of the cases, by the way, here when we are talking about such topic, we are not underestimating anyone from the health team members.
Sure.
If I'll go to a doctor for a problem in my eye, he will not ask me about my knee.
Sure.
And
vice versa.
Exactly. So now here when the patients at home, the physiotherapist, he will take care of the physiotherapy. So the patients or the family, they are the one who will decide. And then bring a nurse. That nurse, she will stay for 12 hours. 12 hours, what she's doing? What if the patient's sleeping? She will sleep. Oh, our nurse, she's sleeping. She's not doing anything. Actually, this nurse, most of the time, she is not trained. Actually, most of the time, there is no monitoring. When I'm visiting the patients, actually, I saw that many medication given in a wrong dose, they are expired. And there is many things, and this is not secret.
So the thing is, like, you want to share to the viewers watching us, so the KTV2, for the new medical devices and for the new expert nurses have to be too much like high experienced, you know, with the cases.
They need training.
Yeah, they need training.
Okay, the most important, I'll tell you something. If you have exam and you don't understand the question, you will never know the right answer, صح?
Yes.
طيب. We are starting from that point. We are doing the assessment for the patients. And by the way, when we are saying we, it's not nurses. It's multidisciplinary team. Because in Kuwait, there is a geriatric doctors. Geriatric doctors, he's the one, or the physician who's taking care of these patients, maybe cardiology. So he will take care of this part. We are taking care of other part. Maybe he's got chest infection. Can you imagine that we are doing X-ray in his home? And with the advanced technology, we can share this X-ray with the others.
By smartphones.
Exactly, with the ship.
Virtual platforms.
Exactly. And here we can communicate in a privacy and confidentiality, and sharing this information, the doctor could prescribe medication without any error. Because, you know, sometimes the doctors, I used to say that they are learning the poor handwriting in the medicine, the College of Medicine.
And you mentioned something very nice. We say all the times, one hand cannot clap.
At all.
You have like a huge team. Now I notice when you are talking, it's not about nurse go any side and for any homes. It's like team preparing for the nurse to go, they will leave. They'll have like too many diagnoses, too many informations.
Exactly.
What about the working crew? Who are working together?
Exactly.
Tell me more.
When we are doing it, okay, there is a request. Okay, according to the request, we can sometimes.
So the first step, I am receiving the request.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that we will get doing the assessment.
Okay.
That assessment on nursing side, we are taking the history. If we need to take more information, like something updated, we can talk to the doctor. Most of the times, there is many doctors are seeing, especially if he is geriatric. Now you are talking about Yom al-Bahar.
Yes.
Yom al-Bahar, we are very proud of the history. Let's be also proud of our senior citizen, which they are the one who's basically they are in need.
Because they are the one who's like working hard for our future.
Exactly, exactly, and they deserve. So did you see any geriatric patients? Usually they are having like a big bag with full of medication.
Yes.
Did anyone view or review this medication?
No.
Okay, so you need someone to review.
Yes.
Now, if you have the most updated revision for this, you need to have a clinical pharmacist. Clinical pharmacist, which we are going to tell him is there is any side effect, drug-to-drug interaction. So here the team, they are working to close the loop.
All of them like working to close the loop for the sake for the patient.
At the end, we are going to give him what exactly he needs. By the way, I'm here discussing with you, explaining for you. So it looked like big cycle, but actually we are collaborating. And we did it in certain places and it works, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, when you mention about the collaboration, so and now I noticed like it's like a huge work for one patient, like you are doing research for one patient just to make him be healthy and safety and a good well-being. So when you do this huge teamwork, like a cycle, like a circuit, we can say, how can you maintain the information of any patient? Like it's like a daily process you have to say, like you say, I will receive the order, I will diagnose, then I go, then I will come back. There is something and other things you have to do all the time.
Sorry, Mr. Abdulaziz, I will never put diagnosis. The diagnosis, it's maybe nursing diagnosis, what exactly he needs. But medical diagnosis, it's from the doctor. My point is that patient, we have nice, great Kuwaiti people here. They are occupational therapists. These occupational therapists in certain companies in Kuwait, they are having certain program and they initiated the Ribni. The Ribni mean they are asking the patient to call them whenever they have medical device to be trained for this, to
And
get the maximum benefit of it.
So when you mention companies and the market, so it means like there is a huge like a demand for this market
Yes,
in the state of Kuwait.
Yes.
What about there's like a competition between them?
To be honest for you, one from my programs is training the caregiver with happiness, with full of passion. I am training the staff from other companies if it's needed because I can see the need. So here there is no competition. They are asking me. Now, for example, if we are going to start a new company for this service, we are going to collaborate with other companies because I don't have nurses, I don't have physiotherapy, so I will deal with them.
Collaborate with them.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the target is to give the quality of care at home.
Nice.
Which is monitored.
Monitored. And there is something else. Before we roll up off about our interview segment, Al-Murshid. In the beginning, you mentioned Al-Murshid. In the middle of our conversation, you mentioned also Murshid. What about the Murshid application in brief?
Okay, actually, anyone from our viewers, they can just open the application store and they can see Al-Murshid. Al-Murshid, it's a group of people, and even they are from Kuwait and outside Kuwait. People are joining us from Saudi Arabia. All of them, they are giving certain consultation, either by phone calls or by video calls or by visiting the patients. And you know, it is very professional services. Can you imagine what are the mental diseases that happening for the elderly? I'm not saying that all of them, no. Sometimes they are lonely. Sometimes they need certain psychological help. Psychological help doesn't mean that they are sick or they are not feeling, but there is a gap that no one can fill it, especially when they are sitting at home and no one to talk.
Sometimes you need any consultation as soon as possible. Like sometimes maybe you have some pain in your neck, you need a physiotherapy directly. You have to do some certain exercises. So this is like a good application, like people, if you seek for help, directly have to check this application.
I'll tell you one thing. Anything related to urgency, this is hospital. Okay, but here in the application, if we are talking about home care, I'm sure that I'm going to say that there is a BRN medication, BRN when it's needed, which is prescribed not by nurse, by doctor. So I can tell the caregiver that you can do like warm compressors, the things that we learn it as a nurses. I am a nurse at the end of the day, so I will not be a doctor one day, never. So I'm just adhering.
But the thing is, every occupation is important.
Yes.
If you are not a doctor, but at least we are a serious at the end. We are completing each other.
Exactly.
So your demand and your role, it's very important to maintain the patient. You are dealing with them. You are the first liners.
Exactly. And we are, by the way, we are the glue, to be honest with you. I don't like when the patient's being seen by X doctor and then Y doctor and then D doctor, and everyone is prescribing medication and no one at the end of the day review. You know what's the meaning of clinical pharmacist? This is something, it's a vital. Now the clinical pharmacists, they are doing a huge job by checking the medication. There is many contradicting in medication And when they'll go back for the doctors will say that yes, it's true. We need to work on.
Amazing. And Miss Khulud, we say all the time, good times run very fast.
I know.
We didn't feel that time. We are very proud of you. Thank you so much for sharing this information. For sure, we'll be here again. We'll talk more about the medical services. Thank you so much.
So, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. So, special thanks to our guest, Khulud Al-Wah. She's the Director of Nursing and Quality Assurance. She already mentioned to us about the home care services. Dear viewers, let's go to this tiny break. They will continue. We saw a report about the Ministry of, we call it the Ministry of Interior. Please, everyone who's watching us through the KTV2, you have to be a patient, you have to be like, pay attention when you are driving your car, especially in the early morning and all the time, because don't check your smartphones, because you have to be always pay attention to the road.
Yes.
This is one of the safety things, because you have to care for the others also.
Exactly, and don't drive too fast. And as my colleague Aziz said, don't text or have some calls while driving. It's for your safety and for beloved ones. And always think that maybe the car next to you is maybe that elderly people are there, a child, a pregnant lady. So please take care of yourself and your beloved ones. So, Aziz, because tomorrow, inshallah, is Ramadan, we're going to talk about fasting and how we start our day one of fasting.
You know, fasting is something, it's to cure your body. It's a good thing for your body. Even us, sometimes we eat too much food. The second day, next day, you have to think to interminate it, you know, like we say, you have to make like certain times for eating and the others for fasting.
Exactly. So that's why, dear viewers, how does intermittent fasting work? Here's what actually happens to your body and also to your brain when you fast. It is all about how long has it been since you last ate. So it was amazing.
Very important. So people who are also fast intermittently even eat within like 8 hours, we call it 8 hours and even more, leaving 16 hours of fasting in between. During that 16 hours stretch their bodies to undergo an important change that sets them apart from non-fasters. So this is very important, Sarah.
So here, dear viewers, how it's work, but let's watch this report, but after this short break. This is amazing, dear viewers. We have too many reports, too many topics, and one of the most interesting topics that most of the girls like, which is about sewing. And myself, I love sewing, I love embroidery, but there's a different type of sewing, which named like macrame machine. It's a different type of a crochet, different type of embroidery. Are you interested of sewing, Aziz?
After you mentioned you present about the topic of our next report, so I am very excited to watch it. So dear viewers, let's watch this report together about sewing. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Kuwait. It's me, Mai Abu Shadi, textile and fiber artist, specialized in macrame and modern weaving. The macrame is art of knots, and it's different little between the macrame and the weaving. The macrame, the history of it came from the Arab world. Its name, or it's called mukrama. Mukrama, it came from the French and the tassels at the end of the carpet. And then the French take the name and let it say as a macrame as in a French accent. The macrame, usually, you don't need tools. You just need your hands and the ropes. But we can add some of tools to add some texture or to remove something or so on. So the main tool is the scissor, sharp scissor to cut the ropes. And the brush. The brush is for the tassels and for the fringe. And there's another brush, it's for the customized. And the needles here, those needles are for the weaving, and also we can use it as to give it the finishing for the macrame, to keep it clean. And this cutting, I can use it to cut the edges for the macrame or the macrame tassels or something like this, to make it a V or something like this. Usually we using the 100% cotton macrame or ropes for the macrame, but recently we add some texture like the bamboo, like called the plastic or elastic, and the jute one. So it gives a modern style to add some colors, some textures, different texture at the same time, at the same piece. Usually, they are asking about the macrame, the wall hanging. The wall hanging are, there's like 2 or 3 types. The basic one, the straight one, the geometric one, and the layered one. The layered one are more famous because it gives you the bohemian style, and that's what all of us need it and love it and love the vibes it gives it. About the workshops, I used to make the level 1 as a basics for the macrame and the intermediate one. And usually the ladies are joining us. They want or they need to create something or to hide their skills in making some texture with the ropes and with their hands. Recently, the men added to the workshops, and it's good. It's very good. Macrame can use it for the plant hangers, wall hanging, table runners, curtain, and we can add it as an accessories like this crown and bags. And now the interior designer added in everything like cushion and so on. It needs time working, and it needs a power from you. It's take a time to finish one piece. It's take between like the simple one, it's between 2 or 3 weeks, and the big one, it took like 6 months, let's say. Next segment, I will talk about the difference between the macrame and the weaving. Thank you.
What a lovely report, dear viewers. It's good to fill your free time by sewing. It's amazing. It's a type of art. Thank you for this amazing report. I hope, Aziz, this episode, actually, our dear viewers enjoyed it as much as we did. It was really a lovely episode.
Lovely episode with too many segments. We talk more about the education, about the nursing assurance. It was a lovely topic with different categories. We'd like to thank our working crew. And now we reach the end of our interview segment and also the episode. So we would like to congratulate everyone for the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. Happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan. Bye-bye.